All right, we're live here. Probably edit this out of the intro and the once it goes live. Because can you hear me? Yeah. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hello. Huh. Let's see. Please let me know if you guys can or can't hear me. All right, I'm going to put this live out there for everyone to see. And we'll get some more viewers in here. All right. Tweeting out the link now, so hopefully get a few more people come on here. So welcome to you all who are here. Please let me know if you can. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Good. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for letting me know you can hear me. While we're waiting for more people to hop on, thank you all for tuning in. We're definitely going to talk about plenty here. I may try to see if I can get a Twitter Spaces maybe going and have kind of an audio element to it as well. Maybe have some live reaction and stuff from people there as well. So we'll see if that'll work or not, or if that'll be a thing that can work or not. So we'll see. But thank you all for tuning in here. Once this is kind of up and running, we'll get going, and I'll have, this will be available for replay later on as well. So if you miss any of the action here, you can catch it on a replay. I'm going to go post this link on Facebook and stuff as well. So y'all share this around. Go talk all about Vols, Lady Vols, men's team winning the SEC title today, getting kind of, to me, disrespected, getting a 3 seed. Lady Vols also, to me, getting disrespected, getting a 4 seed. I'm going to break down some Longwood basketball, Tennessee's opponent, and maybe some Buffalo for the Lady Vols too, but definitely Longwood for the men's team. All right. Well, there we go. Thank you for all of you who have tuned in so far. Feel free to go ahead in the chat here while I'm getting everything kind of set up and all the links fired away to send some questions in. I'll get to them right as I'm started here. And it'll be just a second as we're letting some people get in. All right. All right, now to start paying attention more to you guys. Hello, everyone in here. Please go ahead and feel free to leave some comments and stuff here below. Got a couple of viewers in here. So, all right, Ryan, I see you in there, but I'm going to go ahead and tweet this out from the Vol Basketball Fever account as well. And then we'll go ahead and get in here and get things going. All right, so this will be where the video begins if you're watching the replay. So everything up, this is kind of prelude. So this will be where, if you miss anything, this will be the start of it. So about 5 minutes into it, I'll probably edit the video here and get everything going. All right, well, Hello, Vol fans. We're going to have a lot to talk about here today. I am Nathaniel Rutherford here with Vol Basketball Fever, here to talk with you about Tennessee playing Longwood in the NCAA tournament. The Vols winning the SEC tournament title for the first time in over 40 years. Their draw in the tournament, and the Lady Vols and their draw as well, getting a 4 seed, the men's team getting a 3 seed. If you have any questions here, this is a live stream. And if you're watching this as a replay, welcome into the replay. You can subscribe to the channel while you're here and like this video. Would definitely appreciate it. And all of you who maybe are in here who have not subscribed, feel free to subscribe to it while you're here. We have podcasts and stuff. We'll have a podcast on Monday with my co-host Gene Henley talking all about the Vols, and we'll have some back and forth on that as well. But I wanted to do a live stream because that'd be kind of fun to have some interaction with some people kind of back and forth as I kind of break down a little bit with Longwood. And then, of course, we'll talk about other stuff about, to me, Tennessee getting disrespected, getting a 3 seed. Lady Vols, I think, also getting disrespected with a 4 seed, but also breaking down Longwood as well, because they're an interesting team. I think Tennessee should pretty much handle business against them. But they're a team that I was looking at stuff earlier, just kind of researching them once the bracket was announced. They're a team I would pull for if not for them playing Tennessee, because they have a really interesting story. So let's kind of start about that. So Tennessee in the 3 seed, I will pull up the bracket here and look at it because it's an interesting bracket for Tennessee. You're in the South region where you have 2 teams that you've already played this year as the 1 and 2 seeds in it. Arizona's number 1 seed. They'll play the winner of Wright State Bryant as a 16 seed. Villanova's number 2 seed, and they play Delaware. So Tennessee has already played those 2 teams this year. You also have an interesting one where you have Chattanooga on the top half of the bracket as a 13 seed playing 4 seed Illinois, which is a very vulnerable Illinois team, in my opinion. And I'm a big UTC fan, just for the fact that I like seeing the Mocs have success. And my co-host here on the Vol Basketball Fever podcast, Gene Henley, covers UTC. So got a lot of rooting interest there for Tennessee, or for UTC as well. But looking at where Tennessee matches up, they're the 3 seed playing the 14 seed Longwood. If Tennessee wins, they'll play the winner of Colorado State, Michigan, which I personally don't think Michigan deserves to be in the NCAA tournament. But that's I guess, a rant for a different day. Tennessee, again, playing Longwood, who on Ken Palm is ranked 144th. They're 26-6 on the year. They are a very good 3-point shooting team, but more on that in just a second. Again, I was able to kind of scout out the team a little bit before this video here. But a little bit about Longwood before I get to some questions and stuff in the live chat here. Longwood is the winner of the Big South this year. They just ran roughshod through the whole regular season, and in the basically in the tournament they closed it out with a really strong win against Winthrop. But they are 26-6 overall, 15-1 in the Big South. They beat North Carolina A&T, South Carolina Upstate, and Winthrop to win the Big South. Of course, Winthrop, Vol fans might know that because that's where DJ Burns transferred to. But they're an impressive Big South team. I like them. Like, again, as I said at the beginning of this, they're a team that I would root for if not for the fact that they're playing Tennessee. They have won 8 straight games, and the last loss they had was on February 12th to North Carolina A&T, 70-62. Before that, they had won 11 straight. So this is a team that has won 19 of their last 20 games. And again, 15-1 in the Big South, and they're playing really, really well. They're a team that has a very, very small arena, holds 1,900 people. There are 358 Division I teams in college basketball and in men's college basketball. Their arena is the 343rd largest. So only 15 other teams have a smaller arena than Longwood. The Longwood Lancers, by the way, that's their nickname, the Lancers. Like, again, they played really well in the Big South, but you kind of look at some of their losses, I guess, earlier in the year. They started the season and played Iowa, who was 13th in Ken Palm, and lost 106-73. So not very good there. They also have a loss back in November to Western Carolina, who was not good at all this year. A 62-61 loss to Old Dominion, again, not very good. And a 91-83 loss to Georgetown, who, again, Georgetown, pretty garbage this year. There was a lot of talk about, head coach Patrick Ewing getting fired for a 6-25 Georgetown team. They would win 3 more straight there, and they lost to Abilene Christian, who's not a bad team, on the road there, 74-58. And before they rattled off a bunch of wins, lost North Carolina A&T, and they rattled off a bunch of wins again. So they've really only played one kind of big, notable team. And again, that was Iowa on the first game of the season on November 9th. So they're a much different team than they were November 9th. I'll guarantee that. So I don't expect Tennessee to go and blow them out by 33. But you kind of look at some of their losses they've had this year, and you look at the competition. They played it, in the Big South, where Tennessee has played a couple of Big South teams this year. Tennessee played a Presbyterian, blew them out. I'm looking at what Longwood did against them. They played Presbyterian and won 71-70. Tennessee played USC Upstate and destroyed them and held them to I think Tennessee held them 36 points, which is the lowest in the shot clock era for Tennessee. Longwood played USC Upstate and beat them 79-70 in the Big South tournament. And I want to say Tennessee played UNC Asheville, or am I mistaken on that? I'm pretty sure that Tennessee played UNC Asheville. Let me double check the schedule. But it seems like Tennessee played quite a few Big South opponents this year. Tennessee didn't play UNC Asheville this year. They played UNC in Greensboro this year. Yeah, never mind. And it was a UNC team they played. But no, Tennessee played a couple of big South opponents and really, handled their business really easily against them. But again, this is the best of the Big South, and wasn't even close for Longwood this year. They are a very good three-point shooting team. They come into this game shooting 38.6% from three on the season, which is the sixth best in the country. So they can shoot some threes. Now, I will say, again, they've done that against teams basically the only team they've played not ranked I guess outside the top 100 was Iowa. Every other team they've played this year, according to Kim Palm, is ranked like 130th or worse, I think. No, okay, Abilene Christian was 129. So 130th or worse are the only teams that Longwood has played. But they're interesting. A little more background on them as kind of a whole before I get into some specifics about Longwood. They're a team that Griff Aldrich, their head coach, took over in 2019? Yeah, 2019. Before that, Jason G, their head coach, went 6-24 and 7-26 in the 2 years before Griff Aldrich took over. He went 16-18, 14-18, 12-17, and then this year 26-6. Again, 15-1 in the Big South. This is a program that just got into Division I basketball in 2004. They have had one winning season prior to this year, and that was back in 2009, the 2008-2009 season, when they went 17-14 as an independent school with Mike Gillian as the head coach, he was their first head coach in Division I history. They were around before they came to Division I, but since they came to Division I, he coached them from 2004 all the way through 2013 into their inaugural season into the Big South before Jason G took over and was miserable. And then Griff Aldrich took over and again leads them to their best season in program history, their first ever NCAA tournament berth. So Tennessee's going to be taking on a team who has never played in the NCAA tournament before. Another kind of interesting thing about their head coach, Griff Aldrich, I think it's Aldrich. He's not your typical college basketball head coach. He graduated from the University of Virginia Law. He earned partner status in Houston's largest international firm, built a private oil and gas enterprise, and served as the CFO, the chief financial officer for an investment house before becoming the coach at Longwood. In fact, I think he became an assistant at UMBC. Yeah. So in 2016, UMBC, the Retrievers who ended up upsetting Virginia in 2018 NCAA tournament. Weeks later, he was actually the assistant coach on that squad or that team, and then was named the head coach of Longwood, which is only 10 minutes away from his alma mater. So just an interesting, just really weird story. And before that, he took over, they were 130 and 312 in 14 seasons as a Division I program. So they're interesting. They have again, not a small arena, but they're pretty loyal fan base and a pretty rabid fan base in terms of just the support they have for the Lancers. They're interesting. Again, really good three-point shooting team. They're led by they're led by 6-foot guard Justin Hill, who's been there for a couple years now. Average 14.2 points, about 5 boards and 4 assists. You have Isaiah Wilkins, who averages 13 points, 6 boards, and 2 assists as well. He's a junior guard who's 6'4". I think he transferred. Yeah, he transferred, a couple times from Virginia Tech to Wake Forest and then to Longwood. So he's been around the block a couple times here. but he's technically a Wake Forest transfer, but also he started his career at Virginia Tech. You also have a guy in Deshaun Wade who also averages almost 12 points per game for the Lancers as well, who transferred from ECU a couple years ago, but has been at Longwood. This is his third season at Longwood and his best year so far for the Lancers as well. They don't have a lot of size. In fact, they really don't have size. They have three guys who measure in at around 6'7", but they're 6'7", 225, 6'7", 215, 6'7", 210. Tennessee's going to have the size advantage, and it's not even going to be close. Tennessee's going to have a significant size advantage in this one. And Tennessee isn't even the biggest team out there, but Tennessee has a couple of 6'9 guys. 6'9 John Fulkerson. You have a 6'10, 6'11-ish Brendan Huntley Hatfield, 7-foot Urosh. Tennessee has a size advantage in this one. And then you look at Jonas Adu as well. You look at, Josiah Jordan James is 6'6". He's going to match up with any of their bigs. He's going to match up a lot of Longwood's 4s and 5s, and that's not great for Longwood. They're not a outstanding rebounding team, but they do average 37.3 per game. But again, you got to imagine, a lot of that has come in the Big South, which I don't imagine has too many world-beating rebounders. But like I said, they shoot the three ball really well, 38% on the year. Actually, I guess take it back. It's whatever it said on KenPom, 38.6% on the year. The sports reference one isn't up to date, as much up to date as KenPom is, at least. But they are really good at shooting three, not so good at shooting two. Again, they don't have the size. Only make 47.8% of their twos, which is 252nd in the country. Not awful at free throws, 72.6%. They don't block very many shots at all. They're 338th in the country on block rate, but they do get a decent amount of steals, 8.3 per game, which is 71st in the country. And they turned over the ball quite a bit. Excuse me, they force a lot of turnovers. They have a turnover percentage of 20.2%, which is 78th in the country. So they're not too bad defensively. They're not gonna, it's not gonna be anything that Tennessee can't contend with. Again, this is a really good Big South team. Tennessee absolutely demolished the Big South teams they played this year. I fully expect Tennessee to handle business against this. I'm more, you can't overlook anything. A 16 seed has beaten a 1 seed, finally. The 15 seeds have beaten 2 seeds a few times. You can never overlook an opponent, and Tennessee cannot overlook this team. But I will say, I think Tennessee wins. And then you're looking ahead to either Colorado State or Michigan. I feel like it should be Colorado State. Michigan. I don't think Michigan deserved to get in. Texas A&M should have gotten in over Michigan, or should have gotten in over maybe Indiana as well. But there were a couple stubs that I just thought were stupid. And in fact, I think the selection committee in general this year, this is one of the weirdest ones they've ever done, I feel like. And that's not just because of Tennessee. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Longwood. If you guys have any questions about them in the chat, let me know. Leave it here. I'll go through the live chat here in just a second and kind of see what some of the thoughts are. Andrew Davis says, we definitely got disrespected, but it seems like they gave us a more favorable draw. I feel pretty good about Nova and Zona rematches. Interesting you should say that. Because I feel better about the Villanova rematch. I don't know that I feel great about the Arizona rematch when it's not at home. But that's interesting you said that, Andrew. I think Tennessee was a much, much different team earlier this year when they played Villanova compared to where they are now. That team, Kennedy Chandler looked like an actual freshman point guard in that game. Like he was exposed. He looked unsure what to do with himself in that game. That was before Sakai Ziegler came on and was producing at a really high level too. This team right now is very different than that Villanova team. And that Villanova team now is different than the Villanova team then. Unfortunately for Tennessee, they're still a very good team. So I think if it comes down to it, Andrew, I kind of agree with you. Yes and no. I think I would feel better about the Nova rematch than I do the Arizona one. Herb Goni says they should have swapped us to Kentucky. I agree, but what are you going to do about it? All right, Eric Ash Jones and Longwood is a joke. Tennessee will smoke them. That's a fact. They should. I agree. But Herb, I'm gonna go to your point. Let me tweet out the link again because I'm gonna say this is a spot here that is worth bringing in some more people. The Vols got disrespected. Because looking at the 2 seeds, Y'all know how I feel about Duke. Or at least if you don't, you can pretty much tell just by my demeanor. They didn't deserve a 2 seed. That was all because they wanted to put them in Greenville, South Carolina, because it's the Coach K retirement party. That's it. Tennessee's resume in literally every way, shape, and form is better than Duke's. They're ranked higher on KenPom. They're ranked higher in the net. Tennessee played, 18 quad one games this season and went 11-7 in those quad one games. Duke played 8 and went 6-2 in them. Again, that's a good record. 6-2, solid. But they played 8 quad one games. I'm about to pull it up because I'm willing to bet they played one of the lowest number of quad one games of any, I don't know, of any of the top seeds. Let's see here. Gonzaga played 13. Well, I guess some of this stuff isn't even updated because it's stuff from yesterday. So this is as of games through March 12th. So I think Arizona, for example, would have had another one, but this is just games through March 12th. Gonzaga had 13. Arizona had 9. Houston had 4, and they went 0-4 in those games. Goodness. People kept saying Houston got screwed. I don't know. Houston is whatever. Baylor played 15. Kentucky played 16. Kansas played 17. Villanova played 14. Again, Tennessee played 18. Texas Tech played 17. Again, some of these numbers aren't 100% accurate because Tennessee's is because I know theirs, but some of these aren't accurate because this is games through March 12th on the net rankings here on when I'm looking at on NCAA.com. UCLA played 9. Purdue played 13, right? Yeah, I did math right. 13. Auburn played 13. And then there's Duke, or 13 in the net, played 8. The fewest, aside from Houston, who is in the AAC, not the ACC, the AAC. Duke has played the fewest quad one games of any of the top 15 teams in the net. Iowa had played 9. I guess probably counting today, they played 10. And Illinois, who's 15, played 12. I'm going to scroll down and see the next time I get to some. Okay, here we go. Murray State, who's 21 in the net and who plays in the OVC, has 3. Had played 3. Loyola Chicago, who's 23rd in the net, played in the MVC, the Missouri Valley Conference, had 5. If I get to where's the next big power conference school? Oh, Virginia Tech. Well, would you look at that? Number 27, also in the ACC. They played 8. I guess 9 today because they won the title. So I guess Duke actually, wait, did they play 9 then? That makes her 6-3 then. So that makes it even worse. My point is that alone, those 2 factors alone should have really just nailed home that Tennessee should have gotten a 2 over Duke. You also throw in the strength of schedule on KenPom, where Tennessee's ranked 7th and Duke's ranked 12th. Tennessee strength of schedule, 5th in the country, number 5 in the country. They played an adjusted opponent offense strength of schedule, 10th. Defense, 9th. You want to know where Duke's strength of schedule is on KenPom? Give you a hint, not top 50. Number 71. They played the 106th schedule in terms of opponent defense, according to KenPom this year. 40th on offense, not bad. 106th. You have to go all the way down to number 24 in KenPom rankings to Loyola Chicago to find another team in the top 25 in KenPom who had an opponent defense schedule outside the top 100. And that's Loyola Chicago at 109. And again, they're in the MVC. They don't play the Power 5 teams, Power 6 teams, whatever, like Duke does. You have Kentucky and Auburn as 2 seeds. Tennessee beat both those schools, beat Kentucky twice, beat Kentucky in the SEC tournament where it mattered most. I'm sorry, I'm on soapbox. Sorry, guys. But Gonna go here to the live stream or to the chat here. Andrew Davis. I don't think we were a 1 seed, but there's probably a better argument for us as a 1 than a 3. I agree, Andrew. I don't think Tennessee's a 1 seed, but I agree with. I can't remember who said it on Twitter. I don't think it was Matt Norlander. It was somebody on a national college person who said that something about Tennessee is closer to a 1 seed than a 3 seed, and the fact that they're a 3 seed, that they weren't even the top 3 seed, because I think if you're the top 3 seed, you would have been in Baylor's region. I mean, it helps, I guess, Tennessee's playing in Indianapolis. That's not too far from Knoxville, at least. So maybe that was the thinking, is, give them the 3 seed that's closer to their region, but I don't know. H. Housley said, "Go Vols, absolutely disrespected, but hey, what's new? Just got to lock in and play their best." And I agree. Duke, Auburn, Kentucky seeded higher than us as a joke by Herb Goney, and just ticks you off. It is. But I said it on Twitter, and I'll end my kind of rant, my soapbox here. Hey, man, this team didn't need more fuel, didn't need more motivation, but they just got it. And if you feel disrespect, this team didn't need more motivation than they already had. But hey, if you want to play the disrespect card, you got it. I mean, this is a perfect chance to go out and say, hey, y'all are wrong about us. And again, I don't think it's the worst bracket ever. Again, because I think Tennessee should be able to handle their business against Longwood. And I think the Colorado State-Michigan matchup in the second round is winnable. Whoever advances from that one, I think, is a winnable game for Tennessee. And then you're looking at probably Villanova in the Sweet 16, which that's going to be fun, I think, because I think it's who makes it. Loyola Chicago plays Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State wins that one. I think Loyola Chicago pulls it out. But again, I have a hard time picking against Villanova up until the Sweet 16. And I have a hard time picking against Arizona up until I just have a hard time picking against Arizona. They're really good. And Tennessee fans know that. And Vols won that game, but it really helped, obviously, that game was in Knoxville. Playing them in a neutral site is going to be it'll be rough. I'll say that much. But it's winnable. But I think that's what happens again. Who knows? There's going to be upsets. I mean, you have UAB go out and upset Houston. You could have UTC go make a Sweet 16 run. You could have any number of things happen in this bracket, and it would not shock me. The only thing that would shock me would be Tennessee losing to Longwood. I think Tennessee is definitively just that much better than Longwood and should win that game. I think I saw someone asking about tip-off time. I think if I saw correctly, on Thursday, Tennessee plays at 2:45 Eastern. So I'm going to try to ask off for work on that day or something so I can watch the entire game, or just kind of, I guess, maybe be unproductive that day. So I think that'll be a lot of us on Thursday, which I hate that it's a 2:45. I wish it was, I don't know, at least 4:30 or a late night game or something. But anyway, Tennessee's playing at Indianapolis for that one. So, it is what it is. But hey, we got to talk about some good news, man. We got to talk about the fact that Tennessee won the SEC tournament title for the first time in 43 years. I am ecstatic about that. I legit never thought it was crazy to me to think that in my lifetime, Tennessee would actually do it. Haley Proctor says, "I'll be playing the game for my students. Will not be missing it." Good. I actually remember growing up, and I think in middle school, I guess is when in middle school when Tennessee had to play. Oh my goodness, Wichita. Yeah, when not Wichita. My goodness, whatever game it was in the first round when Chris Lofton had to do the fadeaway jump shot, almost at the buzzer to win. I remember watching that in school on a TV up on the wall. Like they had like little TVs on the wall. We watched it on the TV up there. So I remember watching March Madness in school. So definitely don't deprive your students of that. Hey, that's a good fond memory. Of course, I know, knowing you, I know you're not in a Vol country, but yeah, maybe convert some of those young kids into Vol fans this week on Thursday. Be fun. I guess the upside is that Tennessee plays on Saturday if they advance, which they should advance, as opposed to a Friday Sunday tilt. So hopefully Thursday, Saturday, and then Tennessee hopefully makes it to the second weekend, which I think they should with this draw. Getting beyond that's going to be tough, but getting to at least a Sweet 16, I think, is very doable for this team. And again, Tennessee, not hit my mic there. Tennessee wins the SEC tournament title for the first time in over 40 years. I cannot believe it. Like, it's still, I don't think has really sunk in. I bought a shirt. So I got me a championship shirt coming in. I guess a lot of you all probably do too. But I that this journey was fantastic. I mean, beating Kentucky the way you did, where you led for I think what most of that game, the way they did it too, 69-62, and then you led from wire to wire against Texas A&M in a game where that one was. I mean, even when the A&M cut it down to 5, I still was not that nervous. I thought, okay, that's a run. Tennessee just you know bow up on defense and go make a run of your own on offense, and they did. There was never really in doubt. It was just what's as soon as A&M was kind of going on their run on the tournament, I thought this is playing into Tennessee's favor so much. I didn't want to face Auburn again, but I also didn't think Auburn was going to make it. I didn't think A&M was going to beat them, but I thought if Auburn made it won their first game and made it to the semifinals, I thought they'd lose there. I didn't expect Auburn to make it to their finals. They're not playing their best basketball right now. I didn't expect A&M to beat them, and then I also thought, okay, well, A&M is going to lose to Arkansas. Nope. So as soon as A&M got in there, I thought this is extremely winnable. Please, God above, please beat Kentucky. I would kill for an SEC tournament title in my lifetime, and it happened. Beat Kentucky, and then you handled business against A&M. Never a doubt. I am so happy, guys. I'm so happy that we got to all just experience an actual legitimate SEC title from one of the major programs in the last 10 years it feels like, because Lady Vols haven't won it in a while either. So it's just been nice to like actually experience that. Andrew Davis, do you agree that the bracket was probably finalized last week other than the automatic qualifiers? So I've been prepared for this gut punch. It's not like shocking to me that Tennessee got the 3 seed or was snubbed from the 2 seed, because I don't know how many of you all are here, like who were here in the chat and stuff, listened to the interview, the podcast I did with Eric Haslam of Haslametrics. If you want to check it out, it was last week. You can listen to it, watch it here on this YouTube channel, or go listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google or wherever you get your podcasts and listen to it there. But when I talked with him about it, he said that basically from what he knows about the selection committee and just his conversations and stuff, because again, he does bracketology stuff and has done analytics like Ken Palm over the last, I think, 6 or 7 years. The committee basically has it, from what he said, basically have most things kind of in pen, not in pencil, but like in pen sometime around Friday. So legit, what happens on Saturday and Sunday barely affects anything outside of like you said, Andrew, outside of kind of surprise automatic qualifiers. So I was not expecting Tennessee to get a 2 seed. I really wasn't. Do I think it's stupid that the committee does that? 100%. I think it's stupid the committee does that. I don't understand why. I don't understand why you would not take quad 1 victories or potentially bad like quad 2, quad 3 losses more into consideration, just because it's I don't understand the reasoning they have of having those things that solidified. If you need to push back the selection stuff, have a selection Monday. I don't care. Like, we don't care. It's not that big of a difference. Like, maybe push back a couple hours on. Like, you don't have to do it at 6:00 every year. It doesn't have to be 6:00 on Sunday. You push it back a couple hours, push it back a day. If that means that you really take into consideration what these conference tournaments actually do and actually mean. Because it doesn't matter. You look at some other results and stuff from other tournaments. Apparently, they didn't matter either. Like nothing that happened in the SEC tournament apparently mattered, because Tennessee should have been in a 2 seed. Again, I'm not like that upset about it because it isn't. To me, it was more about the favorable draw rather than the seeding. But Tennessee should have been a 2 seed along with Auburn and Kentucky, or at least maybe even taking one of their spots. I mean, probably not. You look at their bodies of work; they're probably a 2 seed body of work. But Tennessee should have been a 2 seed over Duke at least. Texas A&M should have gotten into the tournament. Like I'm not an A&M fan or anything. I don't really care for A&M. I'm mad on their behalf that they didn't get in. That's a 23-win team that, yes, they didn't have a strong, non-conference strength of the schedule, but they won when it mattered most, man. They came into this game against Tennessee having won 7 straight and 8 of their last 9. They won when it mattered most, and were getting hot when it mattered most. If I'm Buzz Williams, I'm writing a letter. I'm calling, I am doing everything I can to make them know, the selection committee, that I am furious, because if anyone should feel disrespected, it should be Texas A&M. But it's like what happened in the SEC tournament, what happened in a couple of other tournaments, just didn't matter, man. It's like, well, then what's the point? But and then the whole stupid stuff from Joe Lenardi, like I could not care less what Joe Lenardi has to say about things, really. But his whole thing about like, oh, it didn't really matter what they did. Tennessee was actually technically tied for second in the SEC. It doesn't matter, all those different stuff. What's the point? Why do we even play games? If you're going to say it doesn't matter what their quad one record was, if it doesn't matter all this different stuff, what's the point? Let's just go off the preseason rankings. Let's just stop playing in December or January and then wait until March to make the selection stuff. Because apparently what Tennessee did in February and in early March, it didn't matter. It didn't put them on 2-seed line. But apparently what Duke did put them on 2-seed line, even though Duke, again, had a much worse resume. Wasn't an off resume. Duke should have been a 3-seed. Tennessee should have been 2-seed. But also if you're going to replace Tennessee with Duke in the respective brackets, I do kind of like Tennessee's draw better in their bracket. I wouldn't want to be in the same bracket as Gonzaga, for example, because you do look at Duke's. I will say this: you look at Duke's. They have a 3-seed in Texas Tech that I would not like to play. You have the 1 seed in Gonzaga I would not like to play. You have a where's the 5-12 in that one? Oh, it's top half. So 6-11 is Bama / Rutgers Notre Dame. That's toss up. Like I think Tennessee beat any of those teams, but I think Tennessee's draw and road to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 is slightly easier than what they would have been if they'd been the 2 where Duke is. But again, maybe if Tennessee's the 2 and they don't go in the West, they go into the, I don't know, South or East or whatever. I don't know, but I don't know. But it's whatever, guys. I was not shocked that Tennessee didn't get a 2-seed. I was expecting a 3-seed, and that's where they are. Now you just go out and prove them wrong and do what you got to do. And again, it's just such a weird emotions where Tennessee had just won the SEC tournament title, and then like 5 hours later, not even 5 hours later, like 3.5 hours later, it's kind of a gut punch in a way of like, well, then what was the point of all that if you're going to still disrespect Tennessee? But it doesn't take away from Tennessee's SEC tournament title at all. Incredible accomplishment, incredible season for this program that started out 2-3 in SEC play, went on to finish 14-4 in SEC play, and then won the SEC tournament title. First time in 43 years. Freshman Kennedy Chandler gets the SEC tournament MVP. I love it. Again, more motivation. I hate to be this person right now, but we're about 30-ish minutes into this stream. If y'all are here, give this video a like, and I would really appreciate that. Or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Would really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. I appreciate all this feedback and all this, the chat here too. So you guys have been wonderful. I am going to move on to some Lady Vols stuff here to kind of close out. So I know some of you may not be big Lady Vols fans, but I think it's worth it. This is Tennessee, man. Like, root for the Vols, root for Lady Vols. I am a big supporter of really all of Tennessee athletics. The track and field team had a phenomenal weekend. I think 3rd in the NCAAs, which is incredible. You had the softball team sweep number 8 Missouri. Incredible. Baseball kicking butt again, like they have been. I actually didn't see the final score of today's game. I saw they were up. Please don't tell me they lost, because that will upset me. But I know they won before that. So I just root for all of Tennessee sports, man. It doesn't have to be, you don't have just to pull for one team or one sport. So, but now I'm going to switch gears and talking about the Lady Vols. So did they also get let's try that again. Did the Lady Vols also get disrespected? Because I think they did. Maybe not as much as the men's team, because you look at, I can understand Lady Vols getting a 4-seed because you look at the injuries and stuff there. So I can understand that, I guess. But I still think they get, I was fully expecting them to get a 3-seed. And Lady Vols get a 4-seed. But again, I will say, their draw isn't awful. I don't like the fact that they have Baylor right there as the 2. Louisville's the weakest 1 seed, I should say. Louisville is the weakest 1 seed. So that makes me happy. But I think Buffalo's an interesting one because I've not heard a ton about Buffalo right now, or Buffalo yet, I should say. But I'm gonna look it up really quick. But from what I've seen from just kind of the early returns, they're a tough team. They're a team that I think is what 20. They've won 26 games, I think, something like that. Let me pull it up real quick. But Tennessee Lady Vols got into the Wichita region. Here we go, which is the same region again as Louisville's number 1 seed. Michigan is the 3, and Baylor's a 2. Again, I think those are games that Lady Vols can win. But you look at the bracket here for the Lady Vols: 4 seed Tennessee, 13 seed Buffalo. If Tennessee wins, which I think they will play either Oregon or Belmont, which that is intriguing to me. Tennessee playing either Oregon or Belmont. I think it'd be fun. I think Lady Vols have a pretty decent chance to get into the Sweet 16, where they would probably play Louisville. Where, if Jordan Horston is healthy, or at least back, I don't know about healthy, but Jordan Horston comes back for the Sweet 16 or even the second round or whatever, second game in the second round, that's when things are interesting for Lady Vols. Again, I understand, the whole thing with maybe them getting a 4 seed because of the injuries of Jordan Horston, of kind of everyone that they've been injuring Green, and just kind of all the unfortunate kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Attrition. There we go. That they've had to face this year. But again, they have a really strong resume. You look at who they've also played. They played 1 seed Stanford. They played 1 seed South Carolina. They played 2 seed UConn. They played, I think, 2 seed Texas. I mean, they played just like the men's team. They played a brutal schedule this year. Both the men's and women's teams for Tennessee played a really tough schedule. Virginia Tech was a 5 seed. Lady Vols played them too. South Florida, USF was a 9 seed. Lady Vols played them. I mean, they had a really tough schedule and played Kansas, 8 seed. Lady Vols played them too. I didn't realize Kansas got in. Wow. I'd missed that earlier. You look at, other SEC schools. Lady Vols played 3 seed LSU. They played, obviously, Ole Miss, who made it in. They played Kentucky, who made it in because, Kentucky won the SEC tournament this year for the women's side. They played Arkansas, who made it in. They also played, there's one other team, I think, UCF and Florida, who they play each other, which is funny. But Lady Vols played both those schools, UCF and Florida. They played a lot of NCAA tournament teams this year. And even with their injuries, were competitive in really all those games, except for, I don't think competitive all those ones that is mentioned. There were a couple they weren't competitive in, but it wasn't those games. But I think the Lady Vols draw is interesting because I think that it's, let me know your thoughts below here in the chat. But their game against Buffalo, I'm looking at the Buffalo stats. I didn't get a chance to really kind of look at them as much as I did Longwood for the men's side, but I will kind of give you on the fly kind of, I guess, looking at them here. Oh yeah, they're a good team. Yeah, they're 25-4. Was that what it said? 25-4 or 25-8? Excuse me, 25-8. They went 16-4 in their conference. Yeah, they're a pretty solid team. They have they have a Daisha Fair who shoots 36.7% from 3. Dominique Camp, who shoots 32% from 3. They have some pretty good. Oh my goodness, Daisha Fair is averaging 23.4 points per game for Buffalo. So that right there scares me. They have a legit star, like a legit, like really, really good scorer. She also averages almost 5 rebounds a game. She had 142 assists on the year compared to the 65 turnovers, 69 steals on the season as well. So about, a little over 2 steals per game. So she is going to be an actual problem that I think she worries me some. You also have a girl who's averaging 10 rebounds per game for them. She's averaging a double-double on the year. And Summer Hempel, averaging 13.1 points and 10.4 boards per game. And she's blocked 43 shots on the year. So, this team is a little worries. Again, I know, it's Buffalo. It's not like they played in a major, power conference or anything, but that's pretty concerning to me, that you have some players like that are on this team. Yet you have they have some pretty good height. So Daisha Fair is a 5'5" guard. So man, she's small and really dynamic. It sounds like. I'm gonna watch some highlights of her if I remember, probably tomorrow. Try to find the girl who's averaging a double double. I've done forgot her name and I can't find her on the roster, but she again was averaging a double double at 13 and 10 on the year. Which Summer Hempler. Here we go. She's 6'1". So they have a 6'3" forward, Lauren Christie as well. They have 6'1" Nia Jordan, 6 foot Georgia Woolley, and 6'2" Adebola Adai, and 6'3" Aaliyah Gaba. So they have some height, but again, Lady Vols should have more height. Lady Vols should have more athleticism. Lady Vols should win, but if they're not careful, Daisha Fair is going to be a problem for them in this game. Let me get to the chat here. Cat Ghost said, only way to prove the committee wrong is win. Agree. Sandra Ruck said, did you talk about the Vols win the SEC tournament? I sure did, Sandra. Again, or Sandra, sorry if I mispronounced your name there. But if any were coming in late here, this will be available for replay on this YouTube channel here on Vol Basketball Fever. So if you missed any of the beginning part of it, you can also, I think, rewind and watch it back while this is live. But this will be a replay on the channel here. I will be finishing up here in just a second. But Andrew says, we're definitely good enough to win a few games at least, but Horston's health will determine our ceiling. I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that one. I think both these teams, both the men's and women's teams for the tournament, can get to the Sweet 16. Can the Lady Vols, again, if you get to the Sweet 16, is Jordan Horston available? If she is, you're likely, you're playing Louisville. Louisville's not losing to Albany, and I don't think Louisville's losing to Nebraska or Gonzaga. If the Lady Vols beat Buffalo, and if they beat whoever wins Oregon and Belmont, if Jordan Horston's back for that Louisville game, Louisville's the weakest one seed. They just are. I mean, they literally from the way you look at the bracket and how they do seedings, and just kind of also looking at that specific region, it was between Louisville and Baylor who was going to be the one seed, and Louisville won out, but not by a whole lot, I would imagine. Both these teams have a chance to get to the Elite Eight. If the Lady Vols get to the Sweet 16, that'd be the first time in, I think, 5-6 years since the Lady Vols have been to the Sweet 16, which is unfathomable, but it's true. That's really good progress for this team. Men's team gets to the Sweet 16 and then loses. That's I don't know. That's a different story. I don't really want to think about that right now. Maybe a conversation to have with Gene on the podcast on Monday. So yeah, again, be on the lookout on Monday on this channel and in our podcasts that are on Apple and Spotify and Google. Be on the lookout for that. Gene Henley and I will record Monday night to talk about really kind of what I'll talk about here, but he and I will have more time to digest things. I'll look more into Longwood even more, and we'll talk more about just kind of everything in general. But this Lady Vols team versus this Buffalo team is going to be really interesting. It helps also that Lady Vols get to host it. I think that's great. Lady Vols do get to host this. I don't think I mentioned that earlier, but that'll be in Knoxville. The tip time, I think, is still TBA. Okay, it's not TBA as in that it's in TBA. It is, but from the fact that it has not been decided yet. Let me double check Twitter and see if it has or not. Again, I know the men's team, I believe the Vols will be playing at 2:45 Eastern on Thursday, I want to say. So let's see. Bookmark this page for TV tips and times. Okay, so we don't think we have a tip-off time for the Lady Vols just yet. Doesn't look like it. So we have, okay, that's for the playing games. I want to know about later on. Regardless, though, yeah, okay, they haven't been decided yet. They have the playing games decided, but they don't have anything else decided. Lady Vols will be playing on Sunday, I think. Is their first game? No. I'm silly. They're playing Friday, I want to say. Y'all, it's been a long day. just, let's just call it what it is. It's been a long day. Lady Vols are playing. I don't know when Lady Vols are playing, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it on here on ESPN's thing, and it's not going smoothly for me. Here we go. It is Saturday. Someone's probably said it in the chat. I missed it. Okay, they haven't. Lady Vols are playing Saturday. Men are playing Thursday. If the men win, they'll be playing Saturday as well, and you could have both the Vols and Lady Vols playing on Saturday, which would be kind of fun. Lady Vols will be hosting again in Thompson Bowling, and then you have the men's team playing up in Indianapolis. So Lady Vols play Buffalo. They're 4 seed playing 13 seed. Men's team playing Longwood. They are the 3 seed playing the 14 seed. What do y'all think? If you're watching this back as a replay, let me know in the comments down below, or right here before getting off here in the chat. What do you think about both the draws? How far do you think the Lady Vols and Vols go? Because I just, as a gut check, as a gut reaction, I think the men's team makes it to the Elite Eight. Maybe I'm dumb for saying that. Maybe I'm thinking with orange tinted heart here, or orange tinted brain. But I think Elite Eight for the men's team. I just, again, that's just with the gut reaction. I legit do. Lady Vols, I think, get to the Sweet 16. If Jordan Horston's back and she's actually like healthy, that gives them a much better chance of getting past Louisville, because I think it'll be Louisville and go to Elite Eight. But I think Sweet 16 is where Lady Vols go. Hey, Andrew Davis said the same thing. Men lose in the Elite Eight, ladies lose in the Sweet 16, sadly. And I agree. I think sadly too, but that's just, with the team's health, it is what it is. But that's a step in the right direction, Andrew. Like I said, Lady Vols haven't been to the Sweet 16 in over half a decade. So that's a step in the right direction for them. Sandras Rux says the men should have been the 2 seed. I agree. I said that earlier. Again, if you were tuning in late, this will be available as replay, so you can go back and watch the beginning of it if you missed anything and you want to react to it or leave comments later on. One last thing here, Andrew Davis. Would you consider losing in the Elite Eight a disappointment for the men? I would not, because that would be only the second time that this program has made it to the Elite Eight. I don't think it would not be disappointment for me, because you're getting to Elite Eight, you're playing Arizona, who you played and beat 77-73. But again, that was in Knoxville. That was in a very, very loud Thompson Bowling Arena for that game. So no, I would not consider it losing unless it was a different team than Arizona, because I don't know who else it'd be. Maybe Houston. But even then, like, Houston's had a lot of success in men's basketball recently too. So I mean, maybe Illinois. Those are the only other 2 teams I could see getting out of there. But I think Arizona's better than those 2 teams. I mean, Houston will be interesting. Maybe they feel disrespected getting as a 5 seed, but they got to watch out for UAB. UAB is a pretty darn good team too. So it doesn't help that Houston's there. It's up in Pittsburgh. I wasn't realized. Who has the home court advantage there? That Pittsburgh region has Houston, UAB, and Illinois, and Chattanooga, the top region. And then I guess Illinois, and then the bottom bracket has Villanova for sure there, and then Ohio State, Loyola, Chicago, and then Villanova, Delaware. So anyway, I don't think it'd be a disappointment. I wouldn't be disappointed. Maybe some people would be, because you'd be that close to Final Four. But I think getting to the Elite Eight for only the second time in school history, you could do a lot worse. Losing before that would be kind of a disappointment. But yeah, men can win it all. You never know. I mean, they could win it all. It'd be shocking, because they've never made it to the Final Four before. But yeah, they definitely could. Andrew, yeah, sister rematch would give me nightmares. Oh boy, let's not even think about that one. But guys, all of you all who tuned in, thank you so much. Leave a like here. That would mean the world to me. Subscribe to the channel. That would mean even more to me if you all did that. You guys are fantastic. This is the first time we do a live stream. We'll probably do a few more of these now that we're in March Madness and into the NCAA tournament. So be on the lookout for that. Both the men's and women's teams. We'll probably do some live streaming for all of those as well. So again, watch this back if you haven't. If you want to go back and get kind of a early breakdown of Longwood. That's kind of how I'll probably market this one a little bit, as a breakdown of Tennessee's opponent, also with some talk about the seeding and whatnot. And y'all can hear my soapbox rant and stuff and whatnot. But share this with Vol fans, with Lady Vol fans, and share the channel as well. We appreciate the support and the growth we've seen this year for the team. And hey, first year as a fully branded Vol basketball podcast and show and channel, and the men go out and win the SEC tournament. Was it coincidence? Yes, but it was a great coincidence. So I am thrilled that this was how our first kind of full year as a Vol and Lady Vols branded show has been. So We're not technically onto the year date of that of the rebrand, but we're very close. So again, really great year. Thank you all so much for interacting here in the live chat. If you're watching the replay of it, please leave a comment down below and would really appreciate that. But guys, thank you so much again. I'm Nathaniel Rutherford here with Vol Basketball Fever. You guys have been wonderful. Go Vols and Lady Vols. I can't wait to watch the first opponents match up for Tennessee and the Lady Vols both against Longwood and against Buffalo. See you guys then.